Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to, gentlemen and ladies and gents. Just wanted to go ahead and share some information with you. You know what? I can say that everybody out there has been believing that I haven't been getting what's going on and I haven't been getting rules. Alright, do you see this is Minnesota Court Rule 220. It's not a court rule. Let's get that cleared. This is exactly what the title of the law says. Give me a second. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I gotta figure out which one it is. Is it here? Let me see if I can find it. No. Let's see. Is it here? Minnesota Court Rule 220. Ladies and gentlemen, see? So it is a general rule of practice. Does anybody know what the legal definition of general is? Generally? No, not that general. Let's do legal definition. LEGALDEFINITION of general. And let's see what it is. Okay, but general. What the general? It's like the general. Affecting or concerning all or most people, places, things, widespread. Okay, general means all-encompassing. Everything. Everything. Okay, so see, overall, sweeping, inexact, imprecise, broad, widespread, common, extensive, universal, wide, popular, public. Okay, so let's find out what a general rules of practice is. All encompassing, everybody. Now let's see who gets to practice this rule. Y'all ready for it? Now this is the law right here, but we're going to take some things out so y'all can better understand it. Because we're going to do statutory interpretation. Because there are those people out there who say, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to Minnesota Court Rule 220. Now let's first take a look at this. We're not going to worry about rule. We want to talk about practice. And we're not going to worry about Rule 220. We're going to worry about birth certificates because that's what this is the subject matter. Does anybody know what a subject matter is? Well, the courts say they have subject matter jurisdiction. Yeah, subject matter. But do you know what a subject matter is? Well, it's the subject and the matter of the subject, and the matter subject matters. So if it matters on the subject, then it's the matter of the subject, and so it's because of the matter of the subject that the subject matter. You're absolutely right. Thank you for telling us that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the main point. It's the main focus. It's the subject that matters. It's the matter of the subject. What's the matter with you? That's what it is, y'all. So let's find out what's the subject matter. Oh, it's birth certificate. It said right there, subject matter. That's the caption, birth certificate. Well, that's the sub-caption. General rule is the caption. General rule, that's why it's highlighted. Big, huge letters. General rule, generally, general rules. So let's find out what the sub-caption or subsection talks about. It says the register of titles. Who's this? Who's the register of titles? Well, ladies and gentlemen, just so that you understand, the register... Wait, hold on. Copy? Let's find out who the register of titles is, because we don't know who the register of titles is. It ain't told us who no register of titles is. Register of titles? I don't know who no register of titles is. Oh, we can't do this one. Ooh, I messed up. Ooh, good thing it didn't take. Whew, I almost hit the back button. We don't want to go backwards. We want to go forward. Because I made it from the bottom down. Now I got it down to the top bottom, you know. Hold on. See, the J can have the G sound and the G can have the J sound. What up, G? Ain't nothing. Register of titles. Oh, look, register of titles, Minnesota. Somebody else decided to look this up because I didn't put that in there. Somebody else decided to look up register of titles because they needed to find out who the register of titles, recorder or register of titles. This is a recorder. Who does the recorder? Examiner of titles. Register of titles and examiner of titles, same thing? Register of Titles, Minnesota. Wait, Minnesota has its own register of titles, actually called Minnesota State Register. Wait, there are two different registers. There's the county register. There's a county register. Hold on. Look, Public Records, Register Titles. Becker County Register Titles. Real estate recording information. So titles can, vehicle title transfer. Minnesota Department of Safety. They registered, see, Deputy Register Office. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? It is a county recorder. It is a city recorder. It is a clerk recorder of a court. It is a state recorder. It is the Vital Statistics Office, Register of Titles, because I want you to understand this is a, hold on now, hold y'all horses. Minnesota court rule, it did go backwards. I didn't mean for it to go backwards. Started from the bottom, now it made it to the top. Now it ain't gonna let me get there, y'all. I'll see you when you get there. See you when you get there. See you when you get there. It ain't gonna let me get there, y'all. This is a general, all-encompassing rule. So when it's talking about register of titles, it's talking about all those who register titles. All those who register titles. You can't prove that. Well, watch this. I can prove to you it does talk about the DMV. Watch this. The register of titles is authorized to receive for registration of memorials an official birth certificate showing the, come on now, it ain't letting me see the screen, y'all. It don't want me to show y'all. Showing the date of birth of said registered owner. Well, can you be a registered owner of an automobile? Don't they ask you, are you the registered owner of this automobile or this vehicle? Show me your license and registration. Do they not ask you for your license and registration? Then they say, provided there is attached to said birth certificate an affidavit of a person who states that he or she is familiar with the facts recited or stated therein, stating that that party, see, that's why I said it says it's stated, recited and stated the same word. That's why I said stating that that party named in said birth certificate is one of the owners of named in said certificate. Well, you mean there's more than one owner in a birth certificate? Who is that other owner of the birth certificate? The state. The state. That's right. They have general guardianship. They're the owners. That's why they have their seal on there. Full faith and credit. Well, who else is one of them owners? Well, your name is on it, so that means that you have part of that title. Certificate issued to you. That's why you're allowed to get another copy of it if you want. Certified. With the full faith and credit. And if you're under 18, your parents get the right to do the same thing. One of the owners named and said birth certificate. Okay, then it says, and thereafter, after you provide the certificate of live birth with your name on it and the affidavit saying that you one of the owners and you familiar with them facts stated in there, guess what it says? The register of titles shall treat you as having attained the age of majority. Well, how do they treat you as this? Ladies and gentlemen, all you need to do is file that on the record with the register. You can even do it at the Department of Motor Vehicles concerning your property. Your property is that DMV. So when you register your automobile, put in an affidavit and put in that birth certificate saying that you are one, and you got to do an original birth certificate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why they give you a certain limit of birth certificates you can get per year. Y'all been using y'all birth certificates wrong. This is so you can prove you the owner of that. This is how you gain control of securities held in your minor account, and they ain't even told y'all that. That's why you get to own property the same as anybody else. Do you do it with your social security card? I would suggest you probably could. I can't tell y'all to do that. I don't know. I just know who does the titles. Register of titles. So you can do it with vital statistics. I would suggest y'all that you follow the rule. What does the rule say? Well, we told y'all, let's prove to y'all this talking about Department of Motor Vehicles included. It said the register of titles with an S. Okay? It did not say the county register, the county recorder. It said the register of titles. Now, wait, hold on. We ain't finished because some people gonna misunderstand me and thinking that this is talking about land records. Well, they say, pay attention. They say, well, this section is the land record section. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make sure you understand statutory interpretation. It doesn't matter what section of the code this is in. Let me say this again so y'all understand. It doesn't matter what section of the code this is in, because the Trading with the Enemies Act is the same section of the code where they declared a banking holiday. The law says as long as it's in the register where they record laws, regulations, statutes, ordinances, it is law. So this is referring to birth certificates. It is saying that this is a general rule. This is not a specific rule. The word general means general. It does not mean specific. So those out there, hey, I know y'all gonna be talking about this video and telling everybody, but I told it to SATCOM before I told it to y'all. I know you guys are gonna be talking about this, but look, I never took the time to really read this thing, okay? I already knew that birth certificates are land. But are we supposed to be taking our birth certificate, attaching it to all of our titles? I believe so. Showing that we are the owner? I believe so. Is that how we take possession of our securities held in our minor account? I can't tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Why? Because there is no book out there showing us how to, and they won't tell us, which is why we created the Q-Pack, and that might be pushed back a couple of days. Sorry, won't be able to help it. It's supposed to be Sunday that we're supposed to be starting it, but we may have to wait till the 10th of April. Sorry, not my fault. Can't help it. So we may have to push the Q-Pack to the 10th of April. Just letting you know. Don't know for sure. Gonna have to wait. Gonna have to wait. Don't ask SATCOM, because it's not their decision. It's mine. I created the Q-Pack. I'm donating it to them. Okay? Making some finishing touches. But ladies and gentlemen, the Q-Pack was designed to force them to arbitration, to tell you what is the process for going about getting the securities held in your account. Because look, if you do it with your automobile, pay attention. The title register is supposed to treat you as having attained the age of 18 after the date of birth shown on your certificate. Well, guess who else is a title of register, or a register of titles? The clerk of the court. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? What I would do, if it were me, if I own property, I'm attaching that said birth certificate to that affidavit, and I'm putting it on the land record. And they're going to say, Dad, what you doing? I'm putting this on the land record showing I'm the owner. Right here, here's a general rule. Pay attention. You get rid of that 220, and you put general rule of practice, and you just highlight this section, and you highlight this section. Okay? Say, this is a rule of the court. General rule of practice. This is what it says you have to do. Don't worry about the fact that it's Minnesota. This is a general rule of practice. This is from the judicial branch of government. This is what they practice. Practice what you preach. Okay? This is what they practice. It says the register of title shall treat you, not shall document, not shall write it up, not shall provide you with some proof. It says they shall treat you as having attained the age of the majority. Pay attention, it is age of the majority at the date of 18 years after the date of birth shown on said certificate. It's retroactive. All you have to do is what we did. Ladies and gentlemen, all of the SATPAC members and the QPAC gets their affidavits filed on the county recorder's record. Once it's filed on the county recorder's record, you should be able to go into any venue and say, I'm sorry, but you have to treat me as if I am of the majority, because my certificate of live birth has been recorded with the county not the county registrar's office, but the register of titles office. And as a general rule, you must recognize myself as having attained the age of majority. That's why we send the same document to the agencies we send it to. This is where we're headed, people. Now, if you go back to 2015, I told you this was my focus. I don't care about all that other stuff. No TDA account, I don't give about that junk. Why? Because I'm focused on this. My hope is that you all will be focused on it as well. Have a good day, everyone.